Now, here on the Days of Horror YouTube channel, you will have heard us say many times that each and every headstone that we've seen and all the graveyards that we've visited, all the headstones tell their own unique stories. None more so than one in particular here at St Wilfred's in Ribchester. So we've never visited this church and obviously seen any of the graves here before, but we do like to keep looking online for the different and the quirky side of life, you know, as you guys will know. And we do like to dig up the odd story which isn't always about death, you know, and murder and crime, but still obviously it fits in well with the channel. So a few weeks ago I was looking for abandoned places, abandoned churches, abandoned buildings, and I don't know why, but one story cropped out here at Ribchester, and it wasn't anything to do with abandoned places, and it was a story of one headstone and the myth behind it, if you will, and the stories behind it, because nobody quite knows too much about it. There's very little online. I think there's only the parish registers, the parish books that people have looked at to try and get a bit more information on the chap who's buried here at St Wilfred's. But yeah, it's something different, and I hope you guys like today's video. Like I say, I don't think this one's going to be a particularly long video. I said that in a lot of videos and end up being half an hour. I do get that, but I don't think this one will be as long as what the others are. But yeah, we're going to track down the headstone now, and I'll tell you a little bit more about why we find this one headstone in particular very interesting. So the headstone in question belongs to a chap called Thomas Greenwood, and I think he passed away sometime in 1776. Now, what makes his headstone stand out amongst all the others in this graveyard is the fact it's probably the oldest, or one of the oldest headstones still remaining here. But the puzzle is why? Why is this one headstone in particular left here when all the others round about the same date have disappeared? Now, we're going to get to the headstone in the next couple of seconds, and then we'll talk some more about Thomas. But we do have very limited information on him. There's hardly anything out there apart from the parish church records. But it seems by all accounts he was a travelling labourer. We think he may well have worked in the quarries. He definitely worked in the marl pits that were close by to here. And it's in one of these marl pits where Thomas would eventually be found drowned. But it's the manner in which he was drowned. Nobody knows if it was an accident, if it was murder. There's just no information on it. But it seems really strange that he has a headstone, which is it's a nice tribute to this guy. And I can only think that he was a well-liked person. But if he was a travelling workman, a working labourer who just travelled around, how did he become so popular in such a short space of time whilst he was working here in Ribchester? Now, whilst we're here, we've just stumbled upon this headstone, and it's quite sad, and I think it's a story that we are going to look into. But it says, honouring the memory of our two brothers, Geoffrey Proctor, aged 6, and Thomas Robert, or Bobby, aged 3, who tragically drowned together in the River Ribble, and I think it's on the 10th of April 1942. So 2 brothers sadly drowned together. Rest in peace, young fellas. But I think it's a story we might be able to look into and remember these 2 kiddies. And another interesting plot, and I've never seen anything like this ever before, but this is a family grave, and the amount of people buried below us, it's incredible. And I'll read the plaque out. Thy remembrance shall endure into all generations, in memory of 4 generations of the Bourne family who lived between 1822 and 2020. Dedicated by the children of Alex James Bourne, died 3rd of April 2020, and his beloved wife Margaret Patricia Bourne, died 1st of February 2012. But look at all the names and the years. You've got one in 76, 2012, 2020, 1921, 1921, 1921 and 1922. And 2 of these were born the same day, December 29th. That's when they were born. 1, 2, yes, 2 of these born December 29th, 1921, and died January 16th, 1922. So not even a month old. And then you've got some more on this side. 1968, 1964, 1961, 1958. But wow, I've never seen a memorial or a grave as big as this before. And as you can see, just the length of it. So we're coming up to Thomas's headstone and final resting place now, and it is just here. Now, like I said, this is one of the oldest, if not the oldest headstone still here at St Wilfred's, and nobody knows why. Now, there is some idea behind it, some thinking behind it, and it's because of the rhyme which is on the headstone itself. And it's very hard to see here, so what I'll do, I will put it over the screen what it exactly says, but it is a neat little poem. But it does say at the top, what I can see, here lieth body of Thomas Greenwood, who died May 24th AD 1776 in year 52nd year of his age. But like I said, the rest of the writing and the poem underneath is very difficult to read, so what I'll do, I'll put it over the top. But this chap, by all accounts, was a well-liked guy at the time. This is what we were just thinking because of the actual headstone itself. And somebody's gone out and they've paid for his headstone. I mean, it could have been a work collection, it could have been a local collection from Ribchester residents themselves, it could be the congregation here at the church. Nobody knows why this one chap in particular has an headstone such as this, when all the others from that period have all gone. Now, we have found one more headstone just, and I think it's round about here, which goes back to 1795. But this is 1776, and the oldest, I think, that is here at St Wilfred's. But I mean, at the bottom, I can actually see where it says how he died. It says, and working in a marl pit was killed. And the spelt killed, it should say K-I-L-L-D. Now, my only thing with this is, and how it's been paid back in the day, I'm wondering if it was like congregation get together, a bit of a whip round. People here liked him, his workers, and they all chipped in so they could have this headstone made for Thomas. Because like I said, from all accounts, there's no record of him being anything special, if you know what I mean. He wasn't a rich man, he wasn't a mill owner, he wasn't like a business owner. He was just a labourer who travelled round. So to have his own headstone such as that, it's quite remarkable. And I think the theory is behind the reason why that one has stood the test of time all these years. I think it's because of the actual inscription on the headstone, which makes it stand out. You know, people I think are looking after it. I think over the years people have looked after it, and I just think it's become part and parcel of St Wilfred's Church here in Ribchester. Now, I guess we could also look and say, what does the wording mean on the headstone? Words like transient. I mean, does that mean he had a hard life working in the quarries, in the mills, you know, in the pits? We don't know. But it does go to show you, doesn't it, that wording on a headstone, and if it's done the right way, it can stand the test of time and it can mean something. And not only that, it can also show a bit of intrigue. It can get people talking like we are today. We have uncovered Thomas's headstone and his final resting place. We know nothing about the chap, but we're here talking about this man, this person who we'll never know about, but we're here talking about him based on that one headstone. It's fascinating, and it goes to show that even in death, life kind of does continue, and people are curious enough to come out and to pay the respects to people they don't even know. We do it all the time when we come to these graveyards. You know, there's a lot of times we film things and we don't put it on the actual GoPro on the video, but we pay respects to people in these locations. But when we uncover little gems such as Thomas Greenwood, and you know, there's very little on what we can talk about, it's still interesting all the same, and I hope you guys also find it interesting. Tell me what you think down below about Thomas and the actual headstone itself and how unique it is. And do you come across headstones like that where you guys live, in the churchyards you visit? Comment down below and let me and Vicky know. Now, I'm not too much on my history when it comes to the date of these type of places, but I think this building was built, or this church was built around the 7th century by St Wilfred himself. And over the years, I think up to the 16th century, it's been obviously improved, it's been enlarged, you know, it's been made a lot bigger. But as you can see, it is surrounded by a very tidy graveyard. And a lot of these headstones date back to pre-Victorian times. You know, we're talking early 1800s up to present day, as the family grave just that we've been to, the Bourne family grave, shows. I think up to 2020, something like that. But it's a tidy graveyard, and one we've never been to before, so this is new for us. And we're already finding some interesting graves, as you've already seen. For those watching who might be wondering what a marl pit is, well, I think it was an area, it was obviously a pit, which contained a lot of natural clays, and these clays were used, I think they were used as fertilisers on the farmers' fields, so it was quite a profitable business back in the day. Now, where we live in Haslingden, there's another town called Rawtenstall, and in one place in Rawtenstall there's a sports centre and a swim baths called Marl Pits. Now, in that area alone there used to be many pits, such as the ones here in Ribchester, and I'll put a photograph over now of what a marl pit kind of looks like. The problem is, nowadays many of these pits have long gone and been filled with water, so there's not really much to see, but you will get an idea if I put a picture over, like I said, for you guys now. So before me and Vicky leave St Wilfred's Church here in Ribchester, we want to wish each and every single one of you a happy new year. We hope next year 2023 brings everything that you could wish for. We want to thank each and every single one of you for keep coming back to the video, don't we? Without you guys, obviously it wouldn't be the same. We do love coming out, we love investigating and researching these stories, we love telling the stories for you guys, so without you it wouldn't be possible. So thank you very much for 2022. We hope the channel will keep growing throughout 2023, and we've got plenty more places to come, as I keep saying in the previous videos. But yeah, it's just a quick thank you to end 2022 like I said, we couldn't do it without you guys. What I will do, I'll put a small montage, I think, over the end of this video, just as a bit of fun. But yeah, here from St Wilfred's in Ribchester, I want you to take care, guys, look after yourselves, and as I always say, we'll be back soon with another tale from our glorious, if not haunting, past.